Alright, I'm doing a little wiring on this truck on the wrecker. Just want to let you know how I do this wiring. I mean, I'm not saying you should do yours this way, but I solder every joint, just like that. Then I heat shrink it. Here's what it looks like after it's heat shrink. And then I will electrical tape it. That's how I do it. These grounds are on a stainless steel bolt, and when I get done with everything, I will smear them with Noox anti-oxidation compound, and I have used copper antices, which I might have to use here because I cannot find any Noox around here. But anyway, that's how I do it. On these plugs, I use dielectrical grease, and that's the best way I know to keep the old green death away from them. So everybody has their own method. Like I said, I'm not telling you that's how you should do it, but that's how I do it, and that's how I've had the most success. And don't be stingy with the heat shrink. Go way down past your joint, because this insulation, after it gets hot, is pretty brittle. So I usually about triple what I got bared. I use heat shrink. Sometimes if I got plenty of heat shrink, I'll get two sizes, one bigger than the other. I'll slide a big piece on up the wire, shrink the little piece, and then bring a bigger diameter piece over that and double heat shrink it, depending on what kind of situation I'm in. But starting to rain here. It's like the neighbor's mowing grass. I don't imagine he's gonna like the rain. But anyway, I'll pick up my tools and call it a good day probably. About the time I get them picked up, it'll quit raining. But thanks for watching, and I hope that helped you. Also, the smaller the diameter solder you use, the better on this 12 and 14 gauge wire, 16, even the 10 gauge. But you won't have a whole lot of them on this truck. But use small solder, it'll help you. All right,